And we're live. All right, welcome to Soscast, episode 35. What the hell is happening with Bitcoin? I'm sure everyone's been seeing the news, seeing what's going on. We're going to cover that today. And again, this show is all about you guys at home, the entrepreneurs at home. Today, we brought in a panel of experts, as we typically do. But this is the Bitcoin, crypto, metaverse expert panel. We've got songs. We've got lovely ladies. We might have some sunglasses from our friend António here. But this is almost like an emergency press conference because it's been like slowly happening, like crypto's down, Bitcoin's down. And then boom, I saw yesterday just went under 30,000 for the first time in, I don't know, since November. Could be wrong on the exact numbers, exact dates, but that's why I got the experts here. So what I want to do is I want to start off with introducing our experts. But brace for impact, everybody. This isn't going to be a friendly, we all love Bitcoin, we're all going to praise Bitcoin for an hour and a half episode. Is that okay with everyone? Is it okay that we have some tough conversations? Are we okay with that?
We can have tough conversations.
Can we co-sign on that?
Yeah, totally. I'm down.
You guys are going to love Layah. You're about to meet her. So today we're going to cover the good, the bad, and the ugly of crypto. Because it's not all good. It's not all bad. It's not all positive. It's not all negative. You can't just be a hater of Bitcoin and crypto. But you can't just like have 100% of your money in Bitcoin or crypto. Or can you? So with that being said, let's talk money. All right, let me introduce our panel. We have Layah, we have Jessica and António. I don't want to edify you guys. I'm going to let you guys do that yourself. So introduce yourselves. Tell us where you're from, what you actually do for work, and when you got started in the crypto space. Layah, you go.
Sure. Great to be here. Super excited. Thanks, Adam. So my name's Layah from London. And I guess you could call me a crypto expert. I don't know. I've written a book called Undressing Bitcoin. You'll see me a lot on Fox. I talk about the markets. I'm doing that later today. And I do a lot of news. I talk about the markets and I'm very bullish on Bitcoin. And it comes mainly from like a philosophical and political libertarian perspective. Slightly anti-government, very skeptical of government. And I think Bitcoin is the best place to put your money. So I talk about that all day, basically. Got a podcast and that's what I do. Yeah.
Link, description in the link below. Get to know Layah. Speaking of libertarians, you might recall Jessica was on the awesome libertarian debate that we had yesterday with the whole libertarian crew. Jessica, introduce yourself.
That was such a great show, wasn't it?
It was.
I feel like I got so much more clarity about the unified messaging and positions.
I think I'm pretty much a libertarian now.
Yeah, they did a great job.
By osmosis.
Persuasive.
Yeah.
I'm Jessica. I bought Bitcoin a little over a year ago, and I'm a Bitcoin only girl for philosophical reasons. So I'll be that annoying person today that reminds you of what hard money really is. So
okay.
Yeah.
And then we have António, the speed racer over there.
The greatest of all time.
The greatest of all, the GOAT, some may say, of the metaverse.
Which my purpose is to help people bring their dreams to life.
Wow.
Go
on. In a
Keep
dream
going.
world.
Keep going.
Yeah,
on.
so...
what are you an expertise
You know that
in?
I'm the founder of Youcan, which is one of the best metaverse platforms in the market. And excited to be here. I love actually bearish markets because I think that's where the opportunity relies. So super pumped.
Did you guys just hear what António just said? He loves bearish markets because that's where opportunity lies.
Yeah.
Explain for us, for the novices out there, why you love bearish markets.
Because wipes out the weak.
Oh.
And
you sounded like the KGB. Yes, I wipe out the weak. You will die.
To be honest, I just bought more Ethereum yesterday.
More Ethereum.
Yeah.
Because it's on sale.
Yeah, bro.
Breaking news, crypto's on sale, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and I think, the easiest notion to get to start this podcast today is like, crypto is the only way that you could vehiculate money throughout time because, you'll remember Michael Saylor when he came here for the Bitcoin episode.
Amazing episode.
He explained really simply the notion of property. Remember where, you can invest in cryptocurrencies, which is a property, and like transfer through time. And so for me, these moments are like the best because you can actually invest a lot of money, but that is attached with that property because there's scarcity. And I know that the money I invested actually yesterday will triple in like January or February. So I actually love these times.
You know this.
Yeah.
You can't be that certain though.
Because that's how the market works, bro. I mean, there's no like, you know.
Well, I think it depends what you hold, right? Because I think there's a lot of altcoins that people loved back in 2017, which are now dead, and they didn't get the pump, right? So like bear markets are amazing because it's really an opportunity to accumulate, and generally everything does sort of pump. I mean, even like Doge, which is terrible technology, even that pumped during the bull market last year. Literally this time last year is when it peaked, just before Elon Musk's Saturday Night Live.
Yes.
But
When he called it a hustle, I believe.
But not everything is going to. So that's the important part, because there are a lot of coins from 2017 that are still dead, and they never got the pump in 2020.
One of the questions that I asked people when I went to the Bitcoin conference is, there's how many coins out there in total? Best guess.
I don't know, like 16,000 now?
I was going to say there's like 10, 15, 20,000.
Yeah.
Between 10 and 20,000. How many of these 10 to 20,000 coins that are out there will be here long term? 5, 10, 20 years from now? What do you think, Layah?
I mean, like 3.
3.
Bitcoin.
So 99% wipe them out.
No, I disagree.
Hold on. So what do you think will be here?
Yeah. So I mean, firstly, we have to understand that like regulation is coming, and particularly to the States, right? And I think the majority of the tokens that we have right now are securities. Solana is a security. It's entirely VC backed, and so those securities are going to be totally wiped out. And then you have Bitcoin, which obviously isn't a security and is something completely different and completely separate. Ethereum, I also think, will be here, just given the internet is being built on it. Sorry, Jessica. But other than that, I think about 3 maximum.
So you have longevity, you have Bitcoin, you have Ethereum, and you have what else?
I'm okay. Those are my 2 that I would only really stand by. I'd accumulate other stuff. I've got ADA, which is Cardano. I'm interested to see what that will do, although I'm not super bullish on it.
Got it. And you said no. That you believe more than 3.
It's the same way with companies, bro. Like you have like 10% or no, actually like 3% of the coins that will exist, and that's fine because, for example, ApeCoin from Bored Ape, it's a proven go-to-market strategy that worked. They created the community, they launched NFTs, massive hype, and the coin is fine. You know what I'm saying? Like it won't go anywhere because Bored Ape created such a notable IP and such a strong community that the coin will, remain here. So I just don't think. I think on the notion of Bitcoin, Ethereum, the financial oriented type of cryptocurrencies, yes, but then on the realm of community-driven, coins or metaverse coins or NFT coins, there's plenty of space for coins like that.
But just to give a clear number, you said 3% to maybe 10%. It's not like you're saying...
No. Yeah, no, it's like companies. It's like a, C Corp Delaware.
So she said basically 1%. You're saying 3 to 10%.
She said 3 coins.
3. Okay, so she's like 0.1%.
Yeah.
Apologies.
3 coins, yeah.
Jessica, do you have any strong feelings on what will be here long term?
Bitcoin and Ethereum, like she said, there's so much being built, especially, I don't know, something like half of it is stored in like Amazon cloud type thing. I can't remember because I don't own any of it. So I'm not an expert on it.
You don't own anything other than Bitcoin?
No, I own some shares of Twitter, but not enough to matter.
Gotcha. Twitter. Anyway, let's get to some of these stories. So throughout the episode, boom, we're going to pop up a story. This was trending. This was going on in the news. Let's jump into it. So again, we're having an emergency podcast to talk about what's going on in Bitcoin and crypto. Let me set the stage here. This article basically highlights how more than $1 trillion of crypto assets have vanished, gone, done in just the last 6 months. I think November was the peak. So
that's happening, by the way, in everywhere. The private market and public market, not only crypto. Just to be clear.
When they pull it out, are they putting it into something else that is obvious?
Well, here, let's. There's another article right here. Natalia's going to pull up. So 40% of Bitcoin investors are now underwater on their investments. 40%. Okay. So it's down huge. I think it's down 55% from its November peak. Now, Layah, you probably know the number where it is exactly at the minute, but I think it's under 30,000 today, unless it creeped up. What's the number?
It's hovering. I mean, I've seen it at 29. I've seen it at 30 today.
Okay, so it's right around there. So I got my facts right. Great to our stat guy. So, Layah, make sense of what's happening right now. November was a peak. 2020, we printed out $5 trillion. People were like, holy shit, the dollar's becoming worthless. COVID, lockdowns, everything. Crypto, boom, escalate. Bitcoin, everything. 2021 was the year of NFTs. I never even heard an NFT. Now it's like NFT this, NFT that. You have every schmuck on the street telling you to buy an NFT. Pump the brakes. Layah, make sense of what's happening in the Bitcoin and crypto markets.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, the Fed just flooded the system with money, right? You mentioned it, unprecedented amounts of money. People were putting their stimulus checks into Bitcoin. And naturally, there was a bull market going on. You had the halving back in 2020. Generally, a bull market tends to, that's the Bitcoin halving, so the amount of the supply cuts in half. Naturally, a bull market tends to follow after that. There's a lot of things going on. The Fed flooded the system with money. People had surplus cash to throw into it. So with all that surplus cash plus an impending bull market, naturally it's going to go up. Now we're at a point where the Fed is starting to take inflation seriously, and people don't have that surplus cash. It's actually being pulled out. We're also going through times of crazy geopolitical issues, where there's a war going on in Europe, which the US is heavily involved in. Markets don't like war. People definitely like to withdraw their assets from the most riskiest assets.
When there's chaos, doesn't that lead to, like, we need some stability, some security? Let's go into Bitcoin.
No, because Bitcoin is still a risk-on asset, right? Like, it's only 13 years old, and so naturally people are going to withdraw their money from it. Like, during times of uncertainty, do you feel comfortable holding Bitcoin yet?
Yeah, I'm good. I mean,
you don't want to. You're uncomfortable.
I don't have all my assets in Bitcoin. I've got less than 5% of my net worth in crypto, so I'm good. Like,
right. So, but you're uncomfortable with the idea of holding it during times of instability. Bitcoin is going to eventually be an uncorrelated asset, but it's not an uncorrelated asset yet. So it's still going to be affected.
Uncorrelated asset is
correlated to geopolitical events.
So in the market, in the public market.
So Bitcoin is still correlated to geopolitical events, the market.
Yes, it's an immature market.
Okay,
still.
So you're saying that the world is in chaos, the world is in shambles, and Bitcoin
and inflation. If I didn't make that clear, inflation is at a 40-year high, right? Everything is more expensive. Fuel, gas, everything is up. Milk, bread, everything is up. Do people really want to be investing into something like Bitcoin right now, which they don't really understand? It's a bit of a risky asset. No, they want to hold that money because of inflation. So I think that's the biggest problem. So going back to what happened, you had an impending bull market, given we had the Bitcoin halving. So it's like a 4-year cycle, and then the Fed flooded the system with money. People put their stimulus checks into Bitcoin. They had surplus cash, and naturally that's not healthy. That's not good economics. And now the market, not just in Bitcoin or crypto, but the market generally, as António was saying, is feeling that. The S&P 500, NASDAQ, everything is just down.
NASDAQ's definitely down.
Can I build a little on what you said, which is see things from this perspective. So Bitcoin generated a lot of millionaires, right? A lot of people with money. That money throughout time, let's say 2015 to 17, has been, 2x, 3x, 4x. And then that money has been distributed throughout other cryptocurrencies like Ethereum, Solana, whatever. So what's happening now, it's like we created a whole, cryptocurrency market with all of these coins and new companies and new chains existing. And what's happening at this moment is that people, all the crypto millionaires, all the people that have money will now again reinvest in Bitcoin, right? Like buy Bitcoin at a great retail price. And basically, when the market comes up again, the first coin that will win and 2 or 3x will be Bitcoin, right? Again, that's like an easy notion to understand. So what people sometimes like try to get caught on is like, okay, is Bitcoin defensible or Ethereum defensible throughout these, cycles? Of course it is, because the level of community that has built throughout the years is massive. So there's no, like, as I said in the beginning, the money generated from the first and second and third generation of Bitcoiners allow the crypto industry to exist. Now that money, has been wiped off because all of those cryptocurrencies were, either to zero or they have no utility. Now the people with money will go back again to Bitcoin, will reinvest in Bitcoin. Bitcoin will become again the number one currency. And, by January, as I was telling you, we'll get to, 60K or 50K again and, get to number one again.
So one of the things you just said that I want to highlight, you said like the billionaires, the crypto millionaires, they're buying this shit half off.
Yeah.
Correct.
Like they're not scared.
And that's how it works.
If they believe in Bitcoin or they believe in crypto and they're multi-millionaires and they're billionaires, they're like, let the fools sell. I'll take the Michael Saylors of the world.
Exactly.
And the Mike Novogratzes of the world.
The time to buy is when there's blood in the streets.
Of course. You go.
Even
Jessica,
if it's
let me ask you. You called yourself a Bitcoin maximalist.
Yeah.
Okay. So, obviously Bitcoin maximalists tend to say Bitcoin only, Bitcoin only, Bitcoin only, and then forget about all the rest of the nonsense. So Layah brought up the halving, and I want to understand what this is, because people are like, halving, what are you talking about? Half off, whatever this is. So I guess the next halving is in March of 2024.
I think that's correct.
Okay. So are you familiar with the halving? Do you want to weigh in on this? Should people wait to sell or wait to buy until this halving?
Why wait to buy? Look how low the price is.
Okay.
Yeah.
And-
And if you buy it and you don't sell it, then you haven't lost anything.
You're hodling.
I have nothing but optimism. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm long gaming this for 10, 15 years. So.
And then what? What are you going to do after 15 years with all that capital?
And I go to space. I don't know.
She's going to space, y'all. That's it. Great having
Put
you
it
here.
down
That's
as
a great
collateral.
objective.
Great having you here
Yeah.
on Earth, Jessica.
Yeah.
Explain the halving and what this concept means.
Yeah, so so essentially every time there's a transaction, right, miners are the ones that confirm that transaction, and they're rewarded in Bitcoin because it requires a lot of computational power. So that's a lot of electricity bills to pay, basically. So you're rewarded with Bitcoin. When the network was first created, every miner that confirms, that puts a block on the chain, not every miner that confirms a transaction, every miner that confirms a block and adds a block to the chain, which is around 1 megabytes of data, 1 megabytes of transactions. Sorry if I get a bit too technical. Stop me if I do. They are sorry. No. So every miner that adds a block to the chain is rewarded initially with 50 Bitcoin. Now, after roughly every 4 years, I think it's every 210,000 blocks are mined. Am I making that up, or is that correct? I think that's correct.
I think that sounded very accurate. Yeah, António?
Every 4 years, roughly, after every 210,000 blocks are mined, I think, that reward is cut in half. And this happens every 4 years.
Gotcha.
So the amount
So it rewards the people who got in early. Early adopters.
Well, not exactly, because initially they got 50 Bitcoin, right? Which sounds really
For
exciting.
mining, Adam, when you mine, you earn Bitcoin as a reward.
Just to be clear, in 2017, when I started doing this show, I couldn't tell you what a Bitcoin miner was. I saw a guy full on in like he was mining, right?
ding,
I go, hey, what's up? I'm doing my man on the street interviews. I go, hey, what's up, man? You a Bitcoin miner? He goes, I'm working on the elevators, man. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, what do you think about Bitcoin? He goes, hey, I think it's the wave of the future, man.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, all right, good luck with the elevator. I couldn't tell you what a Anyway, so for all you guys out there that don't know what a Bitcoin miner is, don't feel bad when you see a guy.
It's a machine. It's just a machine. It confirms transactions. And every 4 years, the amount of Bitcoin that comes onto the market is cut in half. So it's basically a deflationary mechanism. So the way the central bank in the US, the Federal Reserve, prints loads of money, that essentially devalues the dollar sitting in your pocket.
100%.
So this way, we have less Bitcoin on the market. So it's a deflationary mechanism. So you could say, oh my God, 4 years later, the miners only got 25 Bitcoins. But because it's deflationary, those 25 Bitcoins that you earn are actually worth more than the 50 Bitcoins you would have earned 4 years before.
Because there's no Bitcoin being created. You need to highlight that for the audience. I don't know if the audience knows.
I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, only 21 million, million can ever be created.
The dollar has been printed infinitely. So
40% of all dollars printed in the U.S. history were printed in the last 2 years. 2 years.
So
okay, so like listen, I'm the save that money guy. I get it.
Limited supply matters.
So once you save that money, you can start investing. That's my whole thing. People are like, what do you mean save that money? All you can do is save. It's like, dude, 95% of my net worth is in investments, but I had to save up 10, 20, 50 grand in order to invest. But that goes back to people getting their stimulus checks. They probably should have saved that money, but they pumped it into an NFT Bored Ape, and then and how many have been mined so far of the 21 million?
It was like 18. What is it, like 18 million? I think something like that.
18 of 21, so that's. But 85%.
But a lot of the coins have been lost, and we're not going to get to lost, yeah, because some people put them in non-custodial wallets, which means that it's not on an exchange, there's no middleman, it's just there on the blockchain. And in order to access that, you need the private keys and the seed phrase, and that takes a lot of personal responsibility to remember. There's nobody at HR that you can call. There's no Karen you can call and be like, yo, Karen, like,
there's no 1-800 Bitcoin, nothing like that.
No yellow pages, no Karen. So
and that's
it's down
the good
to
thing, you know.
If you copy the address wrong, if you forget when you're copying the address and skip one letter, like, it's bad business.
All right, so let's break that down. There's people out there who could potentially have millions in the bank, but they forgot the fucking password.
There's also all those terrible boating accidents. You know?
Yeah.
I've had so many boating accidents.
Yeah, you just drop it in the ocean, real sad.
Okay, like
I mean,
But
Coinbase
there's
kind
like
of helps.
laptops that people throw.
but,
I
yeah.
think Alex Jones had like a bunch of Bitcoin on a laptop and he lost it. He lost the laptop.
so isn't this a red flag for Bitcoin though?
No.
Tell me why.
No.
I'm thinking
Well,
I
that's
have
the
$5 million in Bitcoin. Boom, it's overboard now.
That's the
Tell me why
trade-off.
I'm not insane.
That's the trade-off for it not being confiscatable. Like you
Correct.
have to,
Confiscatable.
It's
And
about-
nobody's I've got a couple million in the bank. Nobody's coming after my money.
Let me
Well,
tell
that's
you.
Oh,
because you're
Yeah.
not going to have any unpopular opinions. But I, however, have a lot of unpopular opinions. So
Okay.
who can say? Like,
So
look what
because you have an
happened in Canada.
unpopular opinion, they're going to come after your money?
Well, that's
Yes.
possible. Like we established that Justin Trudeau has no problem doing that to Canadians.
Well, with the
Freezing
GoFundMe
money.
of the Okay,
Yeah.
so this is a fear of yours.
Well,
So
it's
if you
not
have
a fear. Sorry, it's a reality.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, think
If
about
you're
how many
saying
times
uncomfortable
in history,
truths?
Think about how many times in history people have had their wealth confiscated, like their
mean,
gold confiscated, all kinds of things.
I
Movements,
can give you a really
communities.
recent example. Like,
Go.
forget Trudeau, but like in Cyprus, it's called the Cypriot haircut of 2013. So people in Cyprus who had over 100,000 euros in their bank account woke up one day with that money gone because the economy was in dire straits. The EU Commission has just had the authority to confiscate the money in order to pay back whatever needed to be paid back. That is disgusting.
It
I
just
agree.
happened in Lebanon right before that.
Yeah.
Well, right before the
So it sounds
coronavirus
like the
shutdown.
more shaky your country, the more you
No.
really need to be looking at Bitcoin.
Oh no, we have this attitude like it can't happen here. I don't know why anybody believes that anymore. We never thought 40% of the money supply would get printed in the last like 3 years, right? Nobody
Got
would
it.
think that.
Oh, you never thought Canada, the polite country, Justin Trudeau, the man of the people, the kind, good-hearted man, the feminist. Damn Trudeau. He confiscated people's money because they didn't want to take a substance. They didn't want to put a substance inside their body. They didn't want to take a substance that was just that was pushed down their throats, something which hasn't really been tested long enough. We don't need to get into this.
Yeah.
And now they're charging people legally in Canada, Canadians who sent Bitcoin to other Canadians that were in that trucker situation.
And bro, let
were
me just say one
protesting.
So
thing.
part of the just to be crystal clear, part of the allure or the benefit of Bitcoin is I'm a little paranoid, but it's not even paranoia. It's like I'm paranoid of the reality of what could happen.
It does make me feel better. That's why I'll never sell it. Bitcoin's also like a vote, a way to action the way that you want to see the future go.
Can I ask you a tough question? You got involved in Bitcoin in what year? 2020.
I was one of those people that she mentioned about taking the stimulus check and
Yes.
putting it in because
I was
Okay.
just about to mention that. That's
Yeah.
a good move.
Fair
For
enough.
sure.
Okay, but when you got in, stimulus check, Bitcoin was what at 40,000? Where was it at?
yeah, I mean, I bought high, but that's okay. I mean,
So, okay.
I've been incrementally buying just at opportune
So you've been
times.
dollar cost averaging, but it's been at
Yeah.
40, 50, 60,000. You have to be underwater right now, are you not?
Well, remember, I'm not thinking about it in short terms.
No, but I'm saying right now, if you put in
Well,
50
yes,
grand of
if I so-
Bitcoin,
if I s-
you
if I
only
sold
have
it all,
40
I would
grand
be
of Bitcoin.
down. Yes, of
Okay.
course. Yeah,
But
but I'm
that-
not going to, so I don't even think about that reality.
I respect that. I appreciate that. But I actually appreciate your honesty. You bought whatever you bought, and where you bought it, you have less now.
But you're
Yeah.
also down with holding
what?
dollars.
Yeah, but I've been
Inflation.
doing. But here's my point. I've been doing that shit for 15 years. I'm up big time. This goes back to the whole HODL principle, and that's why I respect Jessica. She's not trying to get in and get out. I'm up 15x from when I started investing in 2008.
No, I meant holding the US dollar just in comparison to Bitcoin, because people often say Bitcoin is, risky. The US dollar is like the safe haven, but with inflation, everybody is underwater because everything is denominated in dollars. We don't see the reality of the dollar falling in price. We don't see the purchasing power crashing just because $1 is always going to be $1, right?
Yeah.
But is $1 always going to buy you a Starbucks coffee? No.
I'm with you, 1,000%. 1,000%. After you save that money, you need to start investing because your dollar will get crushed. Michael Saylor highlighted the hell out of this. You got into Bitcoin what year?
2018.
2018. So you got it. You
I
got
got
in
in
at the.
just-
You got in on the low.
I did.
Good for
well,
you.
I actually, but no, something bad happened. Like I was kind of stupid, so I got in, but I didn't really fully understand like the power and the conviction that I have now, right?
Okay.
And so I was getting paid in Bitcoin at around between 3K and 10K, and I kept selling.
Oh, no.
I kept selling.
Layah Halipern.
She had to put it in one of those other 16,000 coins.
Oh, so
No,
you were
I
putting it in
didn't.
altcoins.
No. I was trading back. I was trading back to pounds, to Great British pounds,
pounds,
right? But
gotcha.
at around $8,000, I stopped selling. And actually, I really think that it was like COVID that just honed in the whole point to me. forget centralization. It doesn't work.
Well, either you got better, stronger, faster, smarter, sexier, cooler during COVID, or you went the other way. I'm telling you.
Facts.
Like COVID for a lot of people, you know, you're familiar with the K-shaped economy. The rich got richer, or the smarter got smarter, or the cooler got cooler, whatever. And then if you're just a run-of-the-mill worker, you know, and you're just paycheck to paycheck, you're on the opposite side of the K. How about you? You got involved in crypto what year?
The first time I actually got connected was in 2013. Yeah, because I was
In Portugal?
Yeah, I was playing a lot Call of Duty, and actually,
what was this word?
Bitcoin.
No, you said
Kalasuki.
Call of Duty.
Oh, Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, Call of Duty. That's
Yeah.
not what I heard, by the way.
Sorry, bro, it's my accent.
I heard Cali Fruity.
No.
I was like, what is it, Cali?
No,
Call of Duty.
Call
You
of
heard the same
Duty,
thing.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
doing that.
I was
since
doing a
before
lot of Cali
2013.
Fruity.
Yeah, and
Okay.
basically my friend bought Bitcoin by that time. I thought it was a scam actually because it was, you know, like a
Internet money?
coin for games, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I was a big fan of like, you know, games like Call of Duty. And then I bought in 17 actually.
Got it. So you and Layah are both up on
I
your
know.
accounts. Layah's
Yeah,
up.
I sold a lot of stuff that I had and
Okay.
I channeled through other coins actually.
Got it.
I don't care too much about Bitcoin anymore.
You're not a Bitcoin
No,
maximus.
I
You don't
mean,
care about Bitcoin.
No, it was a good
You have
foundation.
two of the biggest fans of Bitcoin on the planet, but you don't
Yeah,
care
it's-
that much. Why?
I mean, respect, all
Well,
good, but
he's seeking number go up situations, which is understandable. That's just different.
He'll care when the government comes after his money.
no, it's more like I just want to be involved in what I believe, and I just think, you know, Bitcoin is not my thing anymore.
What is it that you believe in? What don't you believe in Bitcoin?
I like Bitcoin. I just don't, you know, on the priority, I have other things to believe in.
What is it? What are your top
Ethereum,
beliefs?
for example, I
You're
believe
more
much
Ethereum than
much
Bitcoin.
More. Yeah, much more.
Okay. Layah, tell him why he's wrong.
I mean, I think the concerning thing about Ethereum is that it's moving from proof of work to proof of stake. So that's not good money. So just to clarify, that's basically the mechanism of how the network is secured, right? So Bitcoin is proof of work, which is fully decentralized. It's the best way to secure a network. Ethereum is moving from proof of stake to proof of work to proof of stake. That's not good. We want money which is reliable, money that we can trust, money which there's no CEO that can say, hey guys, let's change the policy. Because that's kind of what we have now. And that's why we're in such dire straits.
But I don't see from the money perspective. I see from
Okay.
the community perspective, NFTs, metaverse. That's more my angle.
Got it. So there's no beef here.
No.
We
Okay,
can
good.
have beef.
Oh,
if
there
you want some
there
beef,
might be
Adam.
some. Well, speaking of beef, let's pull up this next story right here. Did you hear what Peter Thiel had to say about Warren Buffett?
What did he say?
Oh, shit's going down. So, I mean, you guys might have a little bit of beef. But basically, Peter Thiel, the great Peter Thiel, friend of the show, he might be on soon.
Ask
says
him,
he-
him if he'll run as a libertarian candidate.
I don't know.
Since
Maybe we will.
Since I submitted him yesterday.
Fair enough. So, Peter Thiel, billionaire, Silicon Valley guy, tight with the whole PayPal mafia, basically called out Warren Buffett hard. He basically, I think he was speaking at the Bitcoin conference this past month here in Miami, which we're going to talk about Miami. We're all, you know, here in Miami right now. So he called in his speech, Warren Buffett is a sociopathic grandpa from Omaha and is Bitcoin's number one enemy. Enemy number one of crypto. So it's the top of his enemies list. So Layah, what's with the beef between Peter Thiel, hardcore libertarian, and the greatest investor of all time, non-arguably, Warren Buffett? Why is the beef?
I think from Warren Buffett's perspective, I think it's hard when you've made your fortunes one way to be able to see it another way, right? Like he made his fortunes from the traditional market. He understands that. That's proven for him, and so that makes sense. I think as well, you know, it's unfortunately it is hard to teach an old dog new tricks, and so I totally understand
His perspective.
Right,
Yeah.
I'm sympathetic of it. But the issue is Peter Thiel is this libertarian, right? So it's not about technology for him. It's about understanding the fundamental value of having money which isn't centralized and money which can't be changed. It's fixed. The laws are fixed. Everything is set in stone. So as a libertarian, he understands that. I think, you know, Warren Buffett as well, and I would sort of say Peter Schiff, who's the gold guy as well. A lot of it is also branding because like it's kind of Bitcoin is sexy in my opinion, right? Like I think the topic is sexy. Otherwise we wouldn't be talking
Why
about
is Bitcoin sexy?
And it's young.
Right,
Why
because
is
it's young.
Bitcoin? It is, but why is it sexy?
It's sexy because it's young, like Jessica said, and everything young is apparently sexy.
Are you saying that Warren Buffett isn't young and sexy?
Exactly.
Damn. Warren Buffett. Layah's coming at you.
Oh, man.
But okay, go on. Why is it sexy? Tell us why Bitcoin is so sexy.
Bitcoin is sexy because it's young. It's about making money. It's about being at the front line of innovation. It's about putting the middle finger up to the government. Like it's all about. Like the youth and changing the system and.
It's like the hippies who went to
basically, I'd say
Woodstock. So hippie
Yes.
Bitcoin is the Woodstock of the 60s.
I think so. Yes, actually, that's exactly right. And so I don't know what I was saying, but
not
crypto.
only Bitcoin, crypto.
Jessica, why is Bitcoin sexy?
Well, I think it suggests that you have a mind that can conceive of a new idea, and also that means you understand what's broken about the money that we had and what government and central banks are doing to puppet the world, and everybody else is just sort of a utility to them, people at the top, benefiting from that system. So it suggests that you're capable of understanding that, but also that you're self-sufficient and you're independent, and you're not. You don't have some illusion that everything's gonna just be okay if you just follow along the way that they say.
Exactly.
Just do what they say and everything will be okay. That's not really the way the world works. So I like that aspect of it. I was just wanting to point out that Warren Buffett wouldn't call out Bitcoin if it wasn't his number one threat. So he might be Bitcoin's number one enemy, but just because of Warren Buffett's influence. But Warren Buffett didn't even get into, of all his many companies that he's invested in quite well since, he was born 500 years ago. He wasn't even into gold or anything until the shutdowns came.
Big
so
in
he
tech.
knew that they were going to print all this money and stuff because he sold a bunch of like his travel companies and put all that money back into like gold mining, which was an indicator that he knew what was coming. He's
not an idiot. He's not an idiot. He might be an enemy, but he's not an idiot.
Yeah.
António, to you with the jacket on and the guitar over there, we might have to bust that out. And the great tan and the great hair. Why is crypto sexy, bro?
Breaking free from everything. Government control, centralized institutions. You can raise an army, build a community, deploy what you believe in 5 days.
Oh, okay. I got no response to that. I mean, that was a pretty sexy response.
I think there's got to be like a dopamine flood of gambling, and it's got a gambling aspect to it. So
But that's fine. That's
I'm
fine.
not calling it out.
fine.
I'm just saying
that's how it works.
why it's
Humans
sexy
are,
to the person that's spending
horrible
it.
human beings.
But you think gambling is fine with your money?
No, it's just, bro, like, what if you see things from this perspective? You were saying that, I've been wanting to say this for a long time. You said, because all of these people got the stimulus check and they invested in NFTs and crypto. That's fine because the crypto and NFT market has proven that runs more efficiently than centralized markets. So I rather want to have people, getting to know about financial, the financial market in the crypto world, NFTs, and investing that money there, because I know that person eventually will break free, find wealth, make a lot of money, deploy their idea, create their business, and,
Bro,
be independent.
let me tell you why you're absolutely wrong. All right?
Okay.
You've heard the phrase, you got to crawl before you walk, you got to walk before you run, you got to run before you run a freaking marathon. If you're just getting a stimulus check, you're essentially crawling.
No, I don't agree with that.
No, hear me out. Hear me out.
Hear
me out.
I don't agree with
If
the
you're
stimulus
getting
check. I'm saying when people receive it, investing that versus, stock or a car or, traveling, I actually prefer that the number one investment is crypto, but I don't agree with the stimulus check.
No,
just to be clear.
Whether you're getting a stimulus check or not, if you've never saved any money, you've never invested, and you get $3,000 or $1,000 or $5,000, and you're like, I had time for me to go buy a Bored Ape.
Why are you presupposing that you haven't been saving if you go by?
I'm giving an example.
Keep going.
For me, if I've got money in the bank and I've already done checklist, saving, emergency, cushion, emergency account, done. 401k, maxed out, done. Roth IRA, done. Stock market, done. Cool. Now I want to go buy some Bored Apes. More power to you. But if move A is stimulus check, Bored Ape, I think you're doing things completely backwards. And we'll see what happens. We'll see who's right and who's wrong. But that person who went and spent their money on a Bored Ape or whatever NFT, and if they're smart, they're not selling it. right? I mean, you're going to hodl whether it's Bitcoin
but that's
or
the
crypto.
point, bro. That's what you believe in, and that's fine. You believe and you want to build your wealth through the 401k, through your savings in the traditional way. What I'm telling you is that even if the step one is to get in the crypto NFT space and they fail, let's say they lose all of their money,
Which they're currently doing.
I know that the cumulative growth over time, they will achieve much more wealth and financial freedom than you.
If they have their stomach to hold.
Yeah, because I mean, like, if you first get into this space, right, and you're buying NFTs and now your NFT is down like 70%, you might just take the loss and never come back. So I actually think NFTs are pretty dangerous. Like, I do see the value in them long term, right? But I think we've seen a major bubble, and a lot of people are just getting into them just for the sake of doing it. Like, I'm a journalist by trade. Like, that's what I used to do before I did crypto and stuff. And I have people from the traditional world, like my old life, asking me about NFTs, and they're just buying for the sake of buying, and they don't understand. And there are some NFTs that have value, and I think the Bored Ape Yacht Club is interesting given what they've built, but not all NFTs are going to be like that. And so for me, I'm just
But that's
concerned.
like companies. You know, I remember when I was in Portugal, my father, you know, went to conferences for those multi-level marketing companies that you would buy to get in and to resell. That always existed, scams and whatnot in the traditional market. But the difference is that I see now kids with 18 years old studying, you know, starting investing 5K from their parents, transforming in 50K, and then 500K, and then 1 million. That doesn't happen in the traditional market.
What I will say, which is really incredible, is because of how much focus there's been on crypto and making money, even NFTs, all of it, there's been so much focus on it that the next generation, Gen Z, are actually talking about investing, which is pretty amazing.
Of course. I think that's great.
Yeah, like on TikTok, you see them talking about whatever the hell it is, whether it's Doge, Shiba Inu. The fact is, they are now thinking in terms of money. And I'm only a millennial, like I'm only in my 20s, but like that's not something I was thinking about when I was 15.
But money
Facts.
with purpose, money with community, money with intention. People want to be part of something they believe in. That's the major difference no one gets. Like all of these NFT collections, you know, I don't even have to mention Bored Ape. I can go, you know, Krypton Goons. It's an NFT collection.
We're just using Bored Ape as
right?
a case example. It could be any NFT or anything,
you know,
like that.
You see the love that people put in the collections and even some coins. I love that. Of course, there are scams and people that are trying just to make a big buck in 1 month or two. But for me, I think we will achieve much more freedom than actually staying in the traditional market.
Let me bring up, we're on the topic of NFTs essentially right now. Pull up this NFT story about this board. So we all have a mutual friend, you know, El Capitan, we call
Presidente.
him. El Presidente, mi apologies, lo siento. You know who we're talking about. I won't name his name. The person who introduced us. He's the NFT guy, as far as I'm concerned, right?
Wait, who introduced us? I don't remember who
El
introduced
Presidente.
us.
El Presidente.
Oh, okay, we'll go with that.
Okay, you know.
Code name.
Yeah, exactly.
El Presidente.
AB.
Oh, okay.
The point is this. He's an NFT guy. We won't say his platform. I actually gave him $50,000 seed money to help him get started in crypto. In 2017, I had a lot of capital. He's like, dude, this is what I believe in. This is what I want to do. He was transitioning. I gave him some seed money. He's doing great. Amazing. But I always I always hear people ask him about NFTs. And he's like, yeah, NFTs. It's the future. It's the future. Oh, should I buy an NFT? No, I don't recommend it. I go, hold on. What did you just say? You're the NFT guy, but when people ask you if they should buy NFTs, you say, I don't recommend it. So there's a different correlation here to me. It's like, all right, so you're building an NFT platform, you're making money on it, your company's making a lot of money, but when people ask you, hey, should I buy an NFT? You say emphatically, I don't recommend it.
Maybe that's because he wants to be historically correct.
Yeah, also, there's no utility, bro, in what he's saying. I can give you tons of examples. If you want to design this shoe and launch this shoe brand and find a community to back it up, you'll find. And people want to buy the NFTs of these shoes because they know they will get the royalty from every time this shoe sells in real life. So like, again, El Presidente
We almost revealed his name. But anyway, look, the story about, we'll go back to this one about, we'll talk about the Bored Ape Yacht Club, and then we'll go back to this thing about the Matrix. But basically, Explain this story. A Bored Ape once worth $350,000 for a JPEG of a ape, which sold for $350K, now just sold for a paltry $115, and people naturally are suspecting something's going on. So explain this. How does something like this happen? You bought this Bored Ape for $350,000, and now, less than 2 years later, it's worth $115. Is this a mistake? Is this are they missing a zero?
It's the collective
what
belief.
happened here?
Collective belief, bro. People were buying and giving a price to these because they believe the community would bring to fruition something beautiful, like the platform that they just created, as an example, the other side. And, they built a community. A lot of celebrities got involved. That has a price tag. It's like, Soho House, a membership club, right? You have to pay. But then, again, to what you mentioned minutes ago, the beauty of crypto is that there's no centralized, lobbyism or manipulation in the market. The guy that sold for $115 sold for that price to prove that it's still early. You can still get in the space. You can still control your assets.
So you think he was being philanthropic,
yes,
taking it
he was just doing for fun.
Hey guys, listen, I just want to prove to everybody.
I swear to God.
Stop it, António.
I swear to God.
The guy you're saying took a $350,000 loss, so people understand it's still early.
Bro, I swear to God.
Who the hell would do that?
That guy, if I go on OpenSea and I see his address, I bet you that he has probably 10 Bored Apes. I bet you. He has 10 Bored Apes. And he sells that one for that price just for the sake of showing there's no control in this. I decided to sell for this price. This is what I think it's reasonable, and it sold.
What an amazing person! What a kind-hearted man to take that $350K loss.
You don't think he maybe sold? He maybe owed that other guy some money, and now the debt's clear.
Oh, there's definitely some money hustling, scamming going on with NFTs. You're saying there's money laundering.
That's money laundering too. It's possible.
So
I wasn't going to
as an NFT,
that's possible too.
I wouldn't jeopardize your.
So
stream.
as a NFT guy, is it fair to say that there's definitely some shady stuff, money laundering going on in NFTs?
Like traditional companies, bro, shell companies, like everywhere.
Yeah,
sure.
So you're saying, hey, follow the money. It's what goes around comes around.
But bro, I know people that would do this, for sure, just for
You have some nice friends. Introduce me.
Yeah. So these are kind-hearted, philanthropic, money laundering nice people.
Yeah.
Not money laundering. Don't say that because my legal can come after you.
Creative, record keeping.
No, I'm just saying that for the sake of getting the market, I control my assets. I know people would do that.
Pretty shady. But hey, respect. That's why we brought you on here. Layah, you want to weigh in on this?
I mean, I don't know. I guess it depends what the floor price is. So I don't know what the floor price is.
It's massive. It's $300K or something.
Right. So maybe he is correct. So the floor price is basically you know what the floor price is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. No, it's just a base level of what they go for, right? So if he's clearly underselling it, there's obviously something going on there. And I think as well, even with art anyway, physical art is always a loophole when it comes to taxes and things like that.
Of course.
So I imagine that this is basically the same loopholes probably apply for digital art.
You're saying he's taking a tax loss.
I don't know what he's doing.
He's just taking a loss and he's just writing off $350,000.
I think he's being smart.
This guy's being smart.
Oh, creative.
It's for the splash. I'm telling you.
All right. In my mind, you bought it at $350, you sold for $115.
Well, no.
Doesn't seem smart, but you're like, there's an underlying story going on.
If the floor price is still up,
then
then the Bored Ape is holding its value and it's not crashed regardless of that sale.
You can accept the bid and sell it, but the floor price is still high.
There's this just shows me there's no forced transparency with this. So if that's what you do and you want privacy, I mean, that's one way to go about a wealth transfer in that way.
Okay.
And it be written down some kind of way.
You guys are good with this.
Yeah.
All right. I just learned something today. That everything that I thought I understood about money makes no sense. You buy at $350, you sell for $115, great deal. I don't get it. But hey, I'm learning.
Imagine that could be sold to someone that wants to get into space, doesn't have money, and that was a gift, as an example. I have 10 Bored Apes.
Mazel tov.
Right?
Because there are tax caps on gifts, so
it
is a way to circumvent that.
Guys, this is why we have the experts here. Because
the floor price.
what you thought made sense,
I swear to God, bro, if I have 10 Bored Apes, I would do that. I'm the type of guy, if I was in a coffee shop and the kid, hey, I would love to have a Bored Ape getting into space, and I said, okay, how much you want to pay for? I have $100, I would sell.
And you would take a $350,000 loss because you met a kid at a coffee shop.
Just for the
guys, we have the most noble person on the planet here.
I swear
António,
to God,
because he met a kid at a coffee shop, I'll take a $350K L.
I would do that. To be honest.
António, I only have $100.
Yeah.
Because I've never sold my Bitcoin.
But I don't have 10 Bored Apes.
Look, we were talking about, and we'll circle back to the metaverse and NFT 100%. So stay tuned if you're interested in that. By the way, we're about at the halfway mark right now. If you have not subscribed to Valuetainment, if you're not subscribed to Valuetainment Money, subscribe, do the whole like algorithm thing. We appreciate you. We do the show for you, whether it's a lifestyle show, whether we got Bitcoin going on, whether we have political people going on. We want to get you smarter and better with your money.
Comment what you think your theory is on where all that money went.
Okay. Thank you. Co-hostess. We were talking about why Bitcoin is sexy.
Yeah.
Why crypto is sexy. António said it's not just Bitcoin. There's other sexy
And by
things.
the way, bro, let me just say one thing,
Yes.
please. One thing. Do you realize the amount of people that are studying and learning the financial system because of all of this?
That's what
I
I'm saying.
agree.
We
I
never
agree.
had this, bro, I grew up in Portugal. People, any topic related to money, investment, or companies, you're like,
boring.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not, it's like scam, or like.
I'm with you. You could not be.
You know what I'm
my
saying, bro?
entire brand is about getting financially literate. I get it. Like,
Bro, it's
I'm with you,
beautiful.
100%.
You know
I
what I'm
agree.
saying? Like-
but sometimes you need to take a ridiculous loss and lose money in order to be like, okay, I get
No,
it. It's
but
not just I invest money and I'm a millionaire. It doesn't work that way.
Forgetting this particular, thing, I just found so beautiful that a lot of people actually know the system now and know the flaws of the traditional financial system, the flaws of the crypto system, the private markets, the public markets. People know this.
And that's
you know what I'm saying?
that's a testament to the community aspect of it, because
Right.
you talk amongst each other, and
Yeah.
and they're constantly educating each other
Yeah.
and catching
Yeah.
cross conversation and fixing what's wrong about what you guys are saying to each other on a message board or something.
I'm part of a DAO. I think you know the basketball DAO, Miami Tech Runs, and it's basically a group that for you to be part of, you need to buy the DAO token, right? And basically you play basketball, every once a month. Well, one time we played at the FTX Arena actually, and it's beautiful, the diversity, the amount of people coming into the space, and everyone studying about all of this, like the financial system, traditional markets, crypto markets. I never seen this in my life. Like the amount of knowledge, and people are like, when the government comes with these, laws or printing money or stimulus checks, people are like, sure, you know what I'm saying? Like they don't trust anymore. They know that there's a behind the scene move or, some sort of lobby. So for me, on the balance, all of these losses, all of these scams, all of, the blah, 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 I prefer all of that in order to create this financial literacy and the freedom that has been creating in the crypto
By the
market.
way, I agree with you, but you're also, let's add another element to that. And what Layah said, it's not just because NFTs and crypto are popular and that's why people got smarter with money. They've had 2 fucking years to get smarter with money or get dumber with money.
Yeah, but it's just, there's a lot going on in the world right now. We're living through unprecedented times where we just had lockdowns for 2 years, forced medicines, really unprecedented and shocking things. Inflation. These are things which my generation have never seen before.
Nobody's in 100 years we haven't seen this.
My parents. Actually, you're right. No, yeah, you're right, because the 90s was sort of like the peak, and so was we call the early 2000s the noughties, by the way, in England. So
The noughties.
The noughties.
Wow.
because it's naught.
Okay.
So the 90s and the noughties.
Something about the British accent.
I love
You're
it.
big naughty.
Naughty.
I give up.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Go ahead. What?
No, the 90s and the noughties was peak. Was peak for Western civilization, and so nobody has seen what we're going through. And I think even the fat people realize, wait, hang on, I can work from home. That's
Did you
just
say the fat people?
the fact.
Oh, the fact people. Even the fat people can work from home. It's like, all right.
We can talk about fat people if you want.
Yeah,
I've got
okay.
some things to say. Anyway, people realize what they thought they knew wasn't the reality anymore, and so they realized they could work from home and still make money. They realized new things. They saw Doge go very high. They saw Bitcoin go very high, and they're like, wow, I can make money in a non-traditional way. And I think that's empowering people and waking people up to the realization that actually maybe what we're taught isn't the best thing to do. I had this mentality as a child, and I think it's probably because of how I was raised and what I saw from my father, was that in order to make a living, you had to leave the house, an okay living, by the way, not a great living, just an okay living. You had to leave the house before the sun had risen, and you had to be home after it had set. So that's what I thought, and that's really sad. And it wasn't until I got into crypto that I realized that actually smart work over hard work. You know, be smart about your investments, try learn things, understand, you know, have a skill, become unique. And these are things which I only realized through crypto. And I think given the crisis that the world is in right now, I believe that is waking people up, because we're going through hard times, and I think hard times create stronger people. And I think that given we had the peak of the 90s, a lot of the boomers lived through easy times, and they didn't have to innovate so hard. They didn't have to, you know, figure things out. They didn't have to understand the way I feel like I have to understand. And so I think that,
So a bunch of boomers with no conviction have been running the world into the ground, and there was no safety net. I lived my whole life thinking that there was adults in charge of the world, and it was functioning fine, and I could just exist and make my
trust the system.
You know, shoot pretty pictures and whatever, and then the system would be fine, and these bad things couldn't really happen to the West. Turns out none of them have a spine, a backbone of any kind. I mean, I feel like the last 2 years, there's never been a time of trust and faith in government that's ever been lower for my generation. But it's building like spines of steel in us, and we don't trust. And I love even this crazy stuff to me, this NFT, these other 16,000 coins. I love the message we're sending the government, which is we are going to out-innovate you from whatever constraints you're going to put on us.
Exactly.
Because we don't want to be at the bottom of your pyramid scheme. We'll go have our own, and even if we sustain some losses
Parallel
from these
society.
other creative uses of our money, like we're not going to stay and play on your terms anymore.
What everyone here talking about is disruption.
Yeah.
Whether that's in the financial system, what Bitcoin is doing, disrupting the traditional financial system, whether that's with social media and the social media companies disrupting legacy media, the traditional media, why CNN is tanking.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't get it. Why don't they want to watch Don Lemon? It's like, dude, they're all on social media, okay? Whether that's politics, whether you throw a Donald Trump in there in the last few, since 2016, whether you like him or not, that guy disrupted the shit out of politics. People are waking up that, like you said, financial literacy is up, right?
Yeah.
Because of crypto. Politically, people are more engaged. It's up. So not a Donald Trump fan, but I do appreciate him waking up a lot of people. Social media, TikTok, Instagram,
Yeah, I mean, my conviction for this space has never been stronger, other than since the last 2 years. I saw what happened. And I'm from the UK, so we were really affected. We were in lockdown for ages. I can't travel across Europe if I don't have 3 vaccines. I mean, I saw what happened. I felt physically affected, right? And as a result, I remember I was on the phone to my brother, and I'm like, bro, we need to hold that Bitcoin tight. We need to put that in a non-custodial
Bro, we need to hold that Bitcoin,
Trust
bro.
Trust me, though. Literally, me and my brother were hold that Bitcoin. Nobody's gonna know what you own. Everything is quiet. Everything is hush. Just make that money. Do what you got to do. Don't take that 9 to 5. Leave the damn system, because the system hates you. In my opinion, it's destruction by design. And so I feel like Bitcoin is the only way to become sovereign. And my goal, people talk about a career and things like that. I don't even look at what I do as a career. I just think my goal is, I feel like it's like a divine purpose to empower people. We've never had a government which looks to empower people. We know why that doesn't happen.
Amen to that.
Right, we know why that doesn't
You're
happen.
not controllable at that point.
Exactly, but that is the only way, because no one is coming to save you. And even when they give you that stimulus check to save you, you put it into some dumb NFT, sorry António, and then it crashes. You put it into Shiba Inu, and then it crashes because you have zero financial literacy, because nobody has educated you. They've empowered you to become dependent, and and just feed the rubbish that comes through the media, inflation's going to be great because why? Higher wages.
Exactly.
Well, that's not true.
Fear-based tactics.
Did y'all know that you can, like Elon Musk, respect the accomplishments he's made and not buy what he suggests? Did y'all know that?
You can do 2 things at once, you're saying? You can respect him, but also not go all in on Dogecoin?
He does some stuff I like, and he does some stuff that I don't like. I think he's amazing. And even when he was messing with Bitcoin remember all of that? Yeah, before the SNL skit. I would go on shows and people wanted to talk bad about him. I'm like, but what else does one more human being have to show you about their level of capability than that? So I try to remember that. But yeah, I never listened to what he said about this meme coin and was like, I'm going to go buy it.
Mm-hmm. What you're basically saying is like everything has a gray area. Not everything is good and bad and black and white. And I like Elon, so I'm going to buy what he suggests. Or I hate Elon, I never would. You could love Elon Musk and not buy Dogecoin. Me, I think Elon's the best, but I'd never bought Dogecoin, right?
Right.
So you can do two things at once. I want to address one thing you said about your brother.
Yeah.
Maybe not address. I'd like to undress Bitcoin for a second.
Let's do it.
Shout out to Layah.
Woo.
So you said don't take that 9 to 5. Be smart, work the system. Okay, that's great if you have Bitcoin and you're using Bitcoin to
That's not true.
pay your. Oh, hear me out.
Sorry.
But you still need to make money. So, for instance, I make regular money, like that still exists. Everybody, real money, green dollars. I make that money. It comes into my bank account, centralized, real, normal bank, and then what I do is I deploy that money into whether that's investments, whether that's crypto, whatever. We still need to make real money. You can't just be like, be smart, forget about the system and real money, just be Bitcoin. Like, how does that work?
So I don't mean just give everything up and just be a trader. I don't mean that at all.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, stop with the 9 to 5, because the 9 to 5 is the most riskiest thing you can do. You are literally a fire away from poverty. Can't remember who said it, but you're literally like a person away from poverty because you lose your job. The best thing to do is build something for yourself. That is the most powerful thing you can do. Have multiple streams of income. Get passive income. Get involved in crypto. I mean, you can even start by getting a job. Get the 9 to 5 in crypto, right? Go to a company which will pay you in Bitcoin and allow you to save. One of my clients, Exodus, they go check them out. They pay people in Bitcoin, and also when you work in crypto, they also respect your time to some extent, right? Like, it is decentralized, so you can work from anywhere in the world, which gives you more time to work on your side hustle, because you're not, spending 3 hours on the commute if you're in London, an hour and a half in, an hour and a half out, before the sun rises, after it sets. And so you can spend that time on the side hustle. So I would really advocate, if you don't have any money coming in, go get a job in crypto, go build something, get a side hustle, but understand that your 9 to 5 might be easy now, but I'm telling you, by the time you're 60, you are going to be screwed, absolutely screwed. And I've seen it.
There's an element of what you're saying that is wholeheartedly accurate, but then there's also a part that I'm going to push back on you a little bit. Part of the problem that I have with crypto or with NFTs is that everyone wants to get rich quick. Everyone's just like, scared money don't make money. And like,
that's the perception though.
But it's also perception is sometimes reality. Mm-hmm. You said work smart, not hard. Like, you kind of have to work hard too. Like,
no, smart first. Understand what you're doing. Like, no matter how many floors you sweep, you are not getting rich. So in your spare time, because you're not commuting, because you were smart enough to get a job in crypto and work from home, go learn, go study, go watch a YouTube video. There's so much free information out there.
That's
go
true.
Educate yourself. And then you can start paying people. People can start paying you to educate them. You can start consulting because of all that knowledge that you've built. There's so many ways to make money. Go watch a YouTube video.
The best part of entrepreneurship for me is the fact that no matter what happens to me, success or failure, or however I choose to measure that, it's all my fault. It's everything is because of me. There's nobody to displace. There's no, I don't have an employer that's holding me down. I can't resent an employer for making me take medicines that I never wanted to, or anything like that. Like, I don't have those type of power dynamics with anything. There's only just the ambiguity of the market and cooperative, exchanges with other people. So why would I not want to do that? I mean, and that's been my last 12 years. So
spoken like a true libertarian, Jessica.
Yes.
That's what I got from that. Let's transition right here. We in Miami, baby. Like, this is you. There's a reason that the lovely Layah has welcome to Miami. The reason that Layah has transplanted to Miami from the UK. There's a reason that you've moved to Miami
from San Francisco.
From San Francisco via Portugal. You live in California, but you're not exactly like all about California politics. I don't know where you're going to be.
No, in fact, I think being in the I live in Los Angeles County and did when the shutdowns came, and I think being in the belly of the beast is a big part of what woke me up. So these other people in these red states that never really got shut down, they don't have it all. Like, the only people that can relate to the experience I had in Hollywood for that year and a half, that 2 years, was somebody in New York. That's really the only
San
kind of
Francisco
people.
too.
And London, I can really. It was
Right,
bloody
okay.
terrible.
So, being that we're here in Miami, I've met and interviewed the mayor of Miami, Francis Suarez, a handful of times. You've sat down with the mayor. I know you've sat down with the mayor for, I don't know.
I met
not
him
Eric Garcetti,
I met
Francis
him
Suarez.
Yeah, this
okay.
one. Yes.
This stuff
I
right
actually
here.
like that we're going to this topic.
Yeah,
I have a
actually
lot to say.
smiled when I looked at
Oh,
that mayor.
Antonio likes this. So anyway,
Yes. I have to tell you my story about him. Yeah, I met
hold
him.
on, let me cue this up, sweetheart, and then we'll get to your story. So this guy right here, some might say he's the reason that Miami has blown up over the last couple of years. Crypto, tech, investments, Silicon Valley, everything that's going on right here. So shout out to the mayor. But it's not all peaches. Like rents are up ridiculous
That's the topic I
amounts.
wanna go.
We're
Yeah.
gonna get there, brother. Holy.
You have a great engaged
Yeah,
you're a great
I know.
engaged guest today.
I
think
love
we've done
it.
a great
This is
job.
boxing, bro.
man,
Like
let's go,
Muhammad
bro.
Ali.
Let's
you know?
go, bro. Let's go.
We want to talk about the mayor
Anyway,
so bad.
We're talking about, everyone's excited about the mayor. Francis Suarez is going to see this clip. He's going to see how fired up we are. But basically, his goal is to make Miami the most crypto competitive city on the planet. It's the
He's
reason you guys are
succeeding.
here. Obviously, a lot of people, a lot of businesses, a lot of Bitcoin conferences are taking place here in Miami. The Michael Saylors of the world and the Nova Gratzes of the world and the Winklevoss brothers and the Layah Halperns of the world are all here.
could have mentioned.
That's right. So explain what's going on in Miami. Why is the scene popping up so hard here in Miami? And what's it like living in Miami and being in the crypto scene here in Miami?
First, I have to state the obvious that Miami is doing so well because it's in Florida, and it's because
Correct.
of policies.
So
You know,
politically,
like
yes.
DeSantis,
I mean, we're-
yeah,
okay.
decisions, that
Go
type of
ahead. Fair point.
So basically, I want to talk a lot about this topic. So I came from Silicon Valley, right?
Mm-hmm.
I lived there for years, built my previous company there, the whole thing. And we are at a point in Miami that this can actually become a catastrophe or can become, the true hub of the world. Mm-hmm. And the reason why I'm saying this, it's because there's a all-in type of strategy to attract everything here. VCs, companies, spotlight, events, all of these things. But, if anyone from the mayor's office actually watched this, my message would be, I think they need to change the strategy to become a more founder-oriented type of ecosystem. What I mean with this means that Miami is unique because there's a huge diversity of people here. There's the bartender, the musician, the people that work in clubs, the entrepreneur, the tech investor, all of these people, right? And there's this mentality of the okayism where, let's just like raise rents, like crazy everywhere. Brickell, South Beach, North Beach, like crazy.
But the market is doing that. It's not like Suarez is like waving a wand.
I know.
But he's partly to blame because when he said, "How can I help?"
But the leadership behind the city, it's Mayor Suarez, right? And I think they should come up now with a strategy to really understand what are we building in Miami. You know what I'm saying? Like, I give you an example. So when you see Sequoia Capital, which is the #1 firm in the world, they invested in all legacy companies that their communication style is very founder oriented, right? So they talk in a way like, we support the daring founders. We want the founders of the companies of tomorrow to build today. Like very that, founder style oriented, communication. And I feel that in Miami, we talk a lot about money, crypto, flashiness, events, but you never read, builders, founders. Who is building
The
these
doers
companies?
of
Doers.
the- yeah.
Who is the person in your mind? Tell me one person that is building a super successful company from Miami at the seed stage or at the Series A stage.
Just like this little company called Valuetainment, but I don't know if you've ever heard of them.
But you don't know,
but
right?
we're out there.
Because the communication plan is very oriented to speed, money, attracting high quality, famous people with money. These ex-funds just moved from Silicon Valley. And I've seen this movie before. You know what I'm saying? I've seen this in San Francisco. I was in Silicon Valley. I was in San Francisco. People like being super flashy. Ex-VP of joining my company. Like very oriented to that. And that's not how disruption is created. Disruption is created with the people that have nothing to lose, that believe obsessively in that cause, and they fight for it. And what scares me about this whole transformation is that Suarez is a well-intended guy. He has a good heart. I met him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he
100%.
has a good heart. He believes in what he's doing.
No doubt.
The problem is that the people around him are very with that mindset of like, you know, let's win at all cost and attract at all cost without that founder-oriented strategy. And when I say founder, it can be the next artist, the next painter, the next entrepreneur, the next, you know, whatever. So, and for me, the number one law or strategy that needs to be talked about is the rent price. And it's surreal, bro. You know, like, it's happening. What happened in San
did you
Francisco?
see the cover of the Wall Street Journal?
Yeah, I saw.
This is on the cover of the freaking Wall Street Journal.
That's because Florida's doing so much better than everywhere else you could possibly go in America other than Texas. So this is just natural market movement.
Yeah, but it's not natural.
I disagree.
Listen, let me read the headline. Miami locals are steamed over relocating New Yorkers driving up apartment
but
rents.
that's just what happens.
No, this is
But it's wrong.
Your freedom of movement.
There's nothing wrong or right.
What are you going to do other than fix the prices? And that's not very.
Well, let's look at some case examples so you understand. What would you do?
Can I just weigh in on this just for a second? I don't think there's anything like ethically wrong or right. Ultimately, the market is deciding, and
Price
that is
fixing
it.
is wrong.
The market decides, and so I've moved to Miami, right, from London, and I've just got an apartment. It's very expensive, but you know what I've done? I've had to raise my damn prices. So now I've got new sponsors for my podcast. I'm sorry, it's not this anymore. It's this, and so ultimately everything goes up. The prices go up. Great, I'll raise my prices. Not everyone's an entrepreneur.
But the speed of going up, you have to, as a
Is what it
leader.
is.
But you can't. It's just the motions of the market.
No,
You can't.
I disagree.
You can't
I disagree
fix the
completely.
prices.
So here's
I
the
disagree.
problem. Here's the problem.
Completely.
Can we scroll in on some of
it's-
these stories? No, go up there. It says Can we zoom in? So the 2-bedroom apartment that Natalie was sharing with her roommate 2 years ago has doubled from $3,500 to $7,000 in 1 year.
Why can't she
That's her
move?
constituent.
Great, go make more money.
Okay, scroll back down. There's a couple other
Stop
stories.
voting for people that are printing money.
What do you? But who knows who she voted for? She
No,
lives in
but
Miami.
I don't think it
Keep
has
going
nothing to do
down.
with that, to be honest.
Well, it's a system.
This
It's
guy
all
right
connected.
here, Alex Marks, new transplant from New York at a company. He went from paying $2,800 and is now renewing at $6,500.
That's what I'm saying, like-
Go down to the next one.
Eh.
And then here's this girl, Francesca Levy, on the 26th floor of her luxury apartment. Was it $2,600 now going to $4,000?
This is the free
This is
market.
what
I'm with you.
Sorry.
I'm with you.
It's
I'm
not
with
free
you.
market.
But these are the
That's like-
people
yeah.
that Mayor Suarez has to answer to. So when he's inviting crypto, Silicon Valley, New Yorkers, tech bros to come down, that's awesome on the surface. But
Yes,
all
they
the
do have to live
Miamians are like, dude, what the
Wait,
fuck? I was
this
just
is-
paying $2,000. Now I gotta pay $5,000.
Wait.
This is insane.
Can we just wait for a sec? This is what we were talking about earlier. Being comfortable, thinking that the reality you're currently living in is going to be the same reality in 2 years, right?
And it's not.
And it's not. And so this is where the government should come in terms of educating people and teaching them stop getting comfortable. In 2 years from now, you may not be able to afford your rent because everything is just going up.
The government could stop assassinating people's lives in these blue cities and dispersing them,
Can I
and
frame-
then they wouldn't even be going to Miami and having to find and build new other
Can I
lives
frame-
that are driving up the rates.
Can I frame
all
things-
those other places could just leave me alone, and not Gavin Newsom
Yeah.
could just not make policies that run
But
me
that's
away.
that's a bigger
But
political issue.
that's the market. You
No,
can't cap
let me
these
frame-
homeowners from being able to charge renters whatever they
Let
want.
me-
I get it.
Let me frame, things in a different way. If you are the CEO of a company, right? Let's say this is your, supply chain. Let's put it that way. I understand that the price can go up, but as a leader, you need to understand one thing, which is endurance, right? Like how the market will be in 2, 3, 5, 10 years. And what is happening here, the reason why I'm bringing this topic, is that this price growth does not represent what is the actual transformation happening in Miami. Meaning, if I was Suarez, I would lead all of these people in a way with some law or some, informal agreement or whatever, just say, I understand that you guys can raise the prices because, there's the market demand for it, let's say 25% or whatever, but there's millions of people that make Miami special, okay? Millions of people, Cubans, Latins, white, black, doesn't matter,
We would like the Cubans to keep coming because they don't vote for communism.
Okay, but they don't have the capability present now, to adapt to this inflation. You know what I'm saying? Now you say you tell, okay, António, in 2 years it will change. I got you, I understand that. But let's do, a progressive change, not just like from day to night, go from $2,600 to $5,000 just because the homeowners, can do that. And then you know what will happen? I'm going to tell you right now. Something will happen in Miami, either a hurricane or whatever, the politics, I don't know. All of these people will leave, all of them, like San Francisco. Same thing, I've seen with my own eyes. Everyone leaves, and then who stays in Miami? The people that were here. But now what's the problem? The people that were here, everyone left. And you have a ghost city.
Scaling too fast is a great problem for Suarez to have.
It's not.
No,
As a city,
it's not. Scaling too fast is not a good problem.
It's not a good problem.
Those are the two biggest. Those are the two biggest problems in business.
About the
scaling
marketing.
Too slow and scaling too fast are
exactly.
very bad
especially in a
business.
city. Especially in a city.
Is that really his responsibility?
Yes,
he
of course.
Is the mayor, Jessica.
Yeah,
that kind of comes with the job.
Guy. Of course, like New York City became a shit show because of that mentality.
Maybe she would like Iowa.
She's from Miami.
No, like Jessica.
Well, okay,
Jessica.
I liked LA, but I am getting ran out of there.
But you still live there, and you would like to stay there, right?
No, I don't want to stay there.
Because why? Why don't you want to stay
San
there?
Francisco.
Well, I make my money there. That's why I'm there. But I would move
so
here in a
do
heartbeat.
these people,
And
Jessica.
If I had to, I know, I understand.
But LA.
They don't need to live in a Miami high-rise.
Okay.
What are you going to do? Because it has
No.
to do with the asset prices going up and all those things.
Jessica, no, that's the problem. It's not the high rises. It's everywhere. A house in North Beach next to me that was like $2,500, 1 bedroom or whatever, is going for $5,000.
Yeah, it's not just high rises.
It's not high rises. It's everywhere.
I'm sure that well, she's in a high rise right now. Is
Yeah,
the only
but
reason I
it's
said that.
everywhere.
The only reason that people like me have to come here and then raise the rents because of there's new demand. There's more demand now.
Supply and demand. I hear you.
Is because we're getting screwed by policies in places that we were happy living in.
Right. So I would say I wouldn't say that you should screw the landlords and stop them from raising, right? Raise whatever, do whatever you want. Why don't you solve the issue at a greater scale, right? So like people don't like vaccine passports in New York. Great, stop doing it. People don't like having
people wanted to stay.
For a
Vote
second.
for better people.
Okay, put yourself in the shoes of the people of Miami. For a second.
Well, congrats, because now you have all these new customers.
No, but imagine, just for a second. No, that's not true.
so
First
funny,
of all,
Jessica.
that's not true because these people work from home. They don't co-blend with the city. That's not true at all. These people work from home. They've worked for tech companies, most of them based in Silicon Valley. I'm a tech founder. Don't get me wrong. Like, I understand where I'm talking. I'm a founder of a tech company. I should be probably saying the opposite, more in line with what you're saying.
If she's so valuable to her boss can pay her more to account for the new growth
But
of
not
his business.
double, Jessica.
But the problem, you know what's the problem? People don't get it. Is that people that work remote and for these high-tech companies, I'm a founder of one, all of my friends are these people, is that because they have so much money compared to the bartender that works at Live, when they are looking for a house, their conversation is, I pay you 12 months ahead. Mm-hmm. And that attitude is not co-blended with the ecosystem that the person is living in the city of Miami.
Nobody can pay their rent.
Nobody can pay 12 months ahead.
Like that's not.
And
a
this
thing.
is said by a lot of my realtors that are friends. So like you ask me, okay, the market. Okay, I got you. But like a leader needs to come and say, guys, let's create a strategy because otherwise we will end up like San Francisco, New York, and LA, which is a shit show.
Well, but do you think that that's going to make Suarez very popular with the people that actually, have property and pay taxes and vote?
Of course it will, because he will prove endurability.
If he's throttling their ability to match the market based on the devaluation of the dollar
It's
that they're opted in by government to have to use?
If he comes out and he says like this, guys, we can raise prices because that's the market demand. That's how it works the whole world. We got you. But instead of raising for the double, let's find the benchmark of something acceptable. You still make your money, Miss or Mr. Landlord, but let's be conscious.
I think Soviet-style price fixing in the market is a terrible idea.
It's not Soviet style. It's just like community.
What makes it not Soviet style?
No, it's community. Like
they're about to do that with gasoline. By the way,
imagine if you do that with food or with
that is happening with food.
But double. No.
Real soon, I'll come back in a year and we'll talk about it.
No, but now I'm saying now from one moment
Gas
to the other,
is
like
doubled?
double. I don't think so. I've never seen that. Like doubling everything.
Did you buy gas in America during the Trump administration?
No.
Okay, well it was like $2, right? Something. I mean, it's more than doubled. I mean, in California
but that's
we're
a
paying
different
$6.
problem. I feel like
We're
house
just
for
talking
me.
about goods increasing. We're just talking
but it's
about
not a
inflation.
good. It's a house. It's like a roof for someone to sleep. I mean, I know what will happen. People will be wiped out of this city.
Natalia, would you do me a favor? Go grab those boxing gloves over there. We're gonna take this thing outside. Right?
No, for real.
Listen,
like,
I think
want the one with the US flag
I think
on
what
it.
we're essentially saying, we've got about 20 minutes left, so I do want to get a couple more topics. What we're essentially saying, back to your point, is Mayor Suarez a good mayor or a bad mayor?
he's an amazing mayor,
But my
he
point
needs
is,
strategy for this.
there's a gray area. I think he's a great guy.
He
I
needs
think what he's
strategy.
doing for the city is great, but there's some negative things that have happened with it. Everything's grayer and nothing's black and white, just like the Elon Musk thing we talked about. You might love Elon Musk, but you just got crushed on Dogecoin.
I think
Go ahead.
overall he is a good mayor. I just want to give like a broader perspective because this is a very like Florida, Miami perspective. Let's just talk about the mayor of London for a second. The mayor of London talks about body positivity. He talks about masks. He talks about feminism, and he bangs on about Trump, and he bangs on about austerity. It's so debilitating. It's so disempowering. I interviewed the mayor of Miami, and afterwards, if anybody wants to go watch the interview, you are not going to walk away without feeling empowered. I was like, wow, I felt so excited. And ultimately, coming to Miami, like my business has just grown. Not many of my clients are in Miami, but like my mentality is just expanding, and I want to, charge higher prices, offer more value, do this and do that. And that is just because of the energy that's instilled here. And that energy comes from the top, right? It comes from the mayor. Whereas you have the mayor of London, honestly, I'm telling you, there was a woman on the London Underground. There was a big poster, and she was wearing a bikini, and she looked gorgeous, and it was like beach body ready. And we had to have that taken down because it offended overweight people. The mayor of London decided to take down a healthy looking woman because it offended fat people.
Have you seen ad work lately? Victoria's Secret? They took down all the models and put up all the regular people?
Well, that's what we're dealing with in London. When they removed the mask mandate in London, he was still pushing for it on the London Underground. Dude, talk about something more exciting. Talk about entrepreneurship, empower people. London's already grey. Do something better. And so that's just the contrast.
That's just embracing woke culture, which is
that
a winning.
has nothing to do with this problem.
It does.
Well,
It does.
She's just saying optimism because Suarez has remained optimistic.
But this is not optimism. This is unconscious
We're talking
greed.
about the tone of the voice, which is why she brought up the London mayor.
But this problem was the core problem of San Francisco, London, New York, and LA. That remove that healthy people, optimistic, because like Miami is an optimistic place, healthy, whatever, because of the culture created here. If you go to New York, when people start paying a lot of, like, let me ask you, imagine if the price that you're currently paying, you would pay double now.
So what's your proposition for that? What do you want to subsidize her income
strategy?
or
No, subsidize cap the max.
I don't know if a cap is good, but there needs to be a strategy.
Where do you draw the line, right? Like that's my issue with like socialist policies. The line, it always gets pushed further and further and further. Now we're capping people on, how much they're allowed to charge. What about when it comes to other things like, Jessica was mentioning food and things like that. My issue is where you draw the line.
That's
but you're just saying houses.
Yeah, which you arbitrarily picked.
What about tomorrow?
Not arbitrarily. It's
what
like
about
the
person
basic
after
need.
Suarez?
You know what I'm saying? Like for me, this is
Well, America's trending your direction. I don't know. Maybe you'll move back to California and see everybody
talk
happy.
about basic needs.
It's
What
not
about the homeless?
Politics. Jesus Christ! It's about
Can I
a
ask you a
basic
question, António?
notion,
Can I ask you a
like
question?
of sleeping.
Let me ask you a
we
question.
can-
Why are these people more important to you than the current homeless?
Why is she
What
entitled
does
to live
that
in a
have one
Miami
thing to-
high rise?
Because you're saying that people are entitled to a roof over their head, essentially, is what you're saying,
The
right?
what, sorry?
They're entitled to a roof over their head. That's what you're saying.
No, I'm saying that the people that made Miami, not these people, they just move here. I'm saying like the people that live here, that made Miami cool, are being wiped out.
So why is a native more valuable than somebody that
Because of
through
the
motions,
culture. Because
they're
of the culture of Miami.
They're purging us. They're purging us from all the places we're from, and we have to move here.
No, but I'm
Refugees.
saying, but
Yeah,
but hear me
that's
out.
really what I
All the
call myself.
California
I'm a political
refugees.
refugee.
Imagine,
I'm a
guys,
political
imagine.
real quick, because we're gonna move on. Bottom line: if Mayor Suarez was running again right now, does he have your vote?
If I could
Absolutely.
vote, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Does he have your vote?
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
He
cool.
should,
He's got my vote
He
also.
should institute a policy like they did in New York, where you can just come for 30 days and then people can vote for you, and then I'll definitely vote for Suarez.
Well, respect to Mayor Suarez, but I think we can all agree there's the good, the bad, and the ugly of what's happening in Miami. Let's leave it there. What I do want to, let's be optimistic. I want everyone to tell your best Bitcoin crypto story. The best party you've been to, coolest person you ever met, something you said to a chick that got you laid, bro. I don't know what happened, but you probably have a dope Bitcoin or crypto story. What do you got? First thing that comes to mind.
So I don't have like a specific story. I'm sorry. I have more of like a general lifestyle. So I'm just, I work full time in the industry, and I'm just so blessed to be able to travel the world. I was in Dubai hosting a conference. I'm now moving to Miami. I come from a little town just outside of London, and it's always very grey, and the view from my bedroom was also just so boring and rubbish. And I've just got an apartment now, which is gorgeous, and it has an ocean view, and it's really just the moving up in life, and like how fast I've been able to level up. It just makes me feel so blessed, and I'm able to send money to my parents, and I'm just happy that I'm in a better position than I could ever have been if I didn't get into crypto.
Awesome. Jessica, your best Bitcoin crypto story.
Well, I don't know if it's my best, but my most recent super exciting one at the Bitcoin conference, that we recently recruited and orange-pilled Jordan Peterson. It's a personal hero of mine. I've been staring at his signature on that locker
He's
above
right
your
there,
head the whole
yeah.
time.
But you were looking right at me. I was like, wow, I'm looking good. No, it's Jordan Peterson.
Looking at you like Jordan Peterson's right behind you. But I got to meet him at backstage when he was about to go on set and talk. And so that was really cool to get to meet your hero and listen to him talk twice in one day at the Bitcoin conference. So it's just cool to see Bitcoin philosophically converge with everything else I love, because I was a fan of his long before I knew about Bitcoin, but I saw how well they merged together. And it's cool to watch Bitcoin do that around the world. Like, it's fun. To unite all the things I care
António,
about.
give me something good here, bro.
Yeah.
These girls kind of gave me something good, but they didn't really give me something good.
I
give
know
me
lots of
something
them,
good
actually.
here,
We're not
bro.
allowed to tell the good stories.
Oh, no, you are. You better don't.
I can't tell stories about.
No.
What are you guys holding out on?
We won't get invited back.
Oh,
if
you
we
will
talk about
doubly.
our
You will be
stories.
on a private jet if you give me a
I
good
have a
Bitcoin
clean
story.
brand, Adam. We're gonna keep it clean, okay?
Horrible. You have undressing Bitcoin, Layah.
What's wrong with that?
I know. Just saying, it ain't that clean if you're undressing Bitcoin.
I have a lot of them. I don't know. One would be, one time I went to a yacht, typically in Miami, and there was this group of people, like 20, and I get inside of the yacht, and I was like, I would be sold as the founder of a metaverse company.
They
blah,
hyped
blah.
you up.
They hyped me up.
They pumped you up,
And
baby.
was the most surreal thing, because the conversation, we were all in the yacht, all seated, and the presenter started, "There's $1 trillion in this boat right here. We all have connections. And now we will go chase the best stars in the world to create the most crazy NFTs." And I was like, okay, this is going to be really bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, the style of communication. And then we went out to the ocean, drinking, whatever. And then basically I've learned that the whole thing was a complete fiasco, and nothing
was it a
really
fiasco?
happened, because the guys tried to sign with stars that really didn't do anything. The NFT drop was a fiasco, and was like a very Miami thing, like the
Sunny place, shady people, buddy.
Yeah, kind of like that. But was
I'm
funny.
just picturing you on the boat, models popping by NFTs,
because
baby, and
the vibe.
wah, wah.
Have you played that game GTA Vice City?
Yeah. Is this have anything to do with?
The Vice City game, do you know?
Oh, sure.
GTA,
Yes.
Grand Theft Auto.
What was the other thing that I didn't understand what you said earlier?
Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Fruity.
Cali Fruity, yeah.
Yeah.
Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto. Go ahead.
Puede hablar español también.
Sí, por supuesto.
Español. But yeah, it was so surreal, because I felt that I was in a movie. Truly, like that moment was, very. You
live in a movie, bro.
Yeah.
Well, all right, cool. I really thought that you were gonna Give me something better than that. But hey, good. It was like, yo, sickest party, sickest yacht. NFT flop.
I mean, it's just cliche, I think.
I think people do party hard though in crypto. Like
100%.
They party way too hard.
Yes.
I don't know how they do it. And I think as well, like because you have a lot of nerds, like because that's generally the people that got in, right? They're nerds, and I think they're also like late bloomers, and so suddenly they're in like their early 30s, like late 20s, early 30s. They made a ton of money, and now they're partying.
Yeah.
And so
By
they're
the
sort
way,
of making up
I
for it.
sleep a lot, so I also don't go to parties like that. Crazy.
Oh yeah, okay.
I go
buddy.
at 11 p.m.
I partied with António before the guy partied.
Yeah, we
guy.
basically told you
Bullshitter.
our Bitcoin or crypto indulgence story.
Got it.
That we're
Okay.
really happy about.
Really was expecting a ridiculous sick story, but hey, we'll keep it PG-13. Before we wrap up, there's a couple topics I just want to just put out there. You got these celebrities endorsing crypto, right? So you've got Matt Damon, who basically he did a commercial for Crypto.com, and essentially, here's how much money you would have lost if you bought crypto during Matt Damon's Fortune Favors the Brave commercial, which came out a few months ago. If you purchased $1,000 worth of Bitcoin when the commercial debuted, your crypto value would be cut in more than half.
Only if you sold.
True. If you'd have
Unrealized
481 unrealized gains correctly. So, celebrity endorsements are nothing new. A lot of celebrities will tell you to go buy Doritos, but they're not telling you to go buy Doritos stock.
And they're not
Right.
responsible
That's the
for your
difference.
health. Now, if
Touché.
you had bought Doritos when he sold you and he did this ad, now you'd weigh 300 pounds. Well, like, it doesn't really work.
Now
Okay.
you have heart disease.
So the question is, crypto's kind of blurred the lines between celebrities telling you what to do and what your investments are, and basically everything comes to that. So is Matt Damon responsible for crypto losses, or is that on the person?
No.
No.
No?
Poor guy.
Poor guy?
It's all good.
Well,
bro.
he made probably a couple $1 million from this. I don't feel bad for him, but is he responsible for people's losses?
What
Disclaimer.
if we
Matt Damon
what
is
if
not
we make
responsible.
Suarez cap the market, and then so that people that listen to Matt Damon can only lose so much? Do we want Suarez to do
That's
that?
good.
Is
Yeah.
that his problem
That's good.
too?
So you don't have any problem with celebrities, influencers hyping up crypto? Steph Curry does a
No,
commercial
bro.
for
No.
FTX. Shaq does stuff. Crypto.com. You have no problem with celebrities.
No, I think that they,
Same thing of Fire Festival, right?
There's personal responsibility involved in what you do with your choices.
Exactly.
Like
I think
they start and end with you.
I think it is unethical to push things which are rubbish, right? I'm not saying Crypto.com is. I actually like Crypto.com and I use them. But I think, Conor McGregor, Kim Kardashian, Floyd Mayweather, well, I think they're even under some legal issues now from pushing some really...
NFT weird stuff, right?
I think it was something called like ETH Max or something.
Yes, what was that?
I don't even know, some shitcoin or whatever it is. But like, I think it's unethical, right? But ultimately, everyone should take personal responsibility, and you are responsible for your own losses.
I agree with individual responsibility.
Sponsorships for your show.
Only if they're good. If they're good products, if you
But how do
genuinely
you
believe
know?
them.
How do you know if you don't have any foresight? What if somebody's like, "Hey, we want you to promote this stock"? You don't know anything about that stock.
I work with Crypto.com, for example. Like I do a lot of stuff with them. I use that. I use the product. I like the product. Like I support it. I'm happy with it. And so I would happily say to people, please, like, definitely use it. I use it and I love it, right? But I wouldn't shill something which I don't use and something which I don't think is any good. As if Kim Kardashian, Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather, whatever it is, as if they think that ETH Max is anything. They're not using it. So there is,
they don't know anything about it.
Exactly.
So we talk about personal responsibility.
Exactly.
That's on you. Hey, you made that decision. But what kind of accountability does the Matt Damon of the world, does Kim Kardashian have of the world, Conor McGregor, where they're like, yeah, dude, I just got paid $10 million to do this ad. Well, okay, so maybe you stop buying their products if you've lost money. Maybe you stop going seeing his movies. Maybe you stop supporting
to the reality.
Their fights or their shows. There needs to be some accountability.
That's the only accountability there should be, I believe, because it's all people's, there's action and then there's reaction. Every cause has an effect, and that's the effect. Matt Damon, if you're going to shill something which is rubbish and now people are under, that's their fault for being under, but the effect is they might stop watching your movies. So although you got 10 million, people don't want to see you on TV anymore.
And now you're not making as much money.
I don't think accountability really pans out that much. I don't think people do things like stop going to movies. I mean, was this commercial even for like an exchange site or something?
Yeah, for Crypto.com.
Oh, well then, like, I mean, how innocent and...
No, that one's fine. I have nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, like for Kim Kardashian pushing like a coin called ETH Max or something.
Yeah.
Celebrities just getting
I'm good
paid
because
to
I don't promote
stuff.
anything but Bitcoin, so ethically, like, hey.
One more celebrity. I want to get your thoughts on this, and then we'll do our wrap up. So Keanu Reeves, you might recognize this man from the movie that is basically all about the metaverse, or this dystopian future, red pill, blue pill, all that stuff. So Keanu Reeves, not a fan of NFTs, fan of crypto, but he came out and he says, please, can we just not have the metaverse be invented by Facebook? He's not a fan of Facebook. You are literally building the metaverse out. You're here at Valuetainment helping us kind of understand what the metaverse is. What is basically Keanu Reeves saying about why he doesn't want Facebook involved in the metaverse?
First of all, I agree 100%. So I will tell you what I do before commenting on Facebook so everyone understands. So I don't actually like to go through the words of metaverse or whatever because I see a lot from a problem and solution, right? Mm-hmm. So the problem that we solve at my company is if you want to bring your vision to life, right? Let's say create your brand, your business, let's say design this shoe, create a world, build community, engage your community members, launch your NFT collection, create event experiences, talks in the world, you can do it, right? The problem is that this technology is so engaging. When I show you the product, actually how it works, is so engaging that the risk of people living inside of these virtual worlds will be massive. Why? Because you can develop a narrative, right? You can become someone else in these virtual worlds. And Mark Zuckerberg has proven over and over that he doesn't have the intellectual ability to lead an app or an ecosystem that is related to sociology, right?
He doesn't have the ethical fortitude
to
be in charge of this. It's a moral issue. It's not an intellectual thing, I don't think, because he's plenty smart, obviously. You can't look at his net worth and call him anything.
Good word, too. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an ethical thing. But if anybody's proven that they'll meddle in politics, market manipulate, hide from you how they're selling your data, just in general feed you things that make you fight with your friends and family, I can't imagine somebody that I want away from me more than Zuckerberg.
I agree with
Agreed.
you. There's an example I always like to give. I don't know if you guys like Apple or not. I like. And Apple, there's a lot of moments throughout the day or, when you consume the iPhone that they actually say, you know what I'm saying? Stop using the phone for such long or allow privacy or this and that. And specifically Mark Zuckerberg, wouldn't it be beautiful if you open Instagram and you just read a notification, hey, António, have you thought about meditating today or just stopping for 30 minutes?
Or just not manipulating my algorithm would be great.
Yeah, but even
limiting my reach if I say something, a keyword you don't like, that'd be nice.
That's fine too. Yeah. And also on top of that, altruistically bringing humans to that side of wellness, good mindset, optimism, positivity, and, my true purpose, actually, a lot of people...
But that's not his job. The job of a CEO or job of a corporation is to produce profits for the shareholders. His job isn't to make people feel
No, I disagree.
loved.
Actually,
you see
the
Airbnb...
government...
I'm saying that'd be great, but that's not his job.
No, it's his job. No, it's... Bro, you see Airbnb, example, Brian Chesky, stellar leader, stellar CEO. He is has a purpose, culture, direction, and he builds a product with that consciousness. Mm-hmm. Apple, the same. His job as a CEO, Mark Zuckerberg, is to create an enduring community and also serve their users in the best way possible. And what he does with his platforms doesn't serve his users in the best way possible.
This administration has decided that Mark Zuckerberg's job is to determine what's true and false in the realm of opinion and political interpretation of things, and then edit that conversation. So that's actually what government is telling Mark Zuckerberg to ramp up. Then that's definitely not his job.
Yeah, I don't go to the political side. I just like to stay more on the, I'd say, bigger picture type of thing. I just think he could be an altruistic guy and really, push that culture around Facebook platforms.
I don't know. I'd say, look, each to their own. He's built a business. It's a business, like you were saying, at the end of the day. And ultimately, there's going to be pushback, right? We don't want to use his metaverse now. So that puts him out of business when it comes to expanding into this new era, which is why we want to use decentralized metaverses. Out of interest, is your metaverse decentralized?
Yeah, of course.
Right, so there you go.
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
We're
There you
talking
go.
about it.
So we want to use
But you're
decentralized
saying
metaverses.
Facebook/Meta is not
Yeah, but-
decentralized?
Yeah, don't use
absolutely
it.
not.
No.
Okay.
And can I just
I'm
say
with
another
Keanu.
thing? Another thing that I heard actually yesterday. So there's an app that like most women have on their phones to track their periods, and I found out that apparently the app's called Flow. I don't know if you have it. It's a
They
great
sold
app.
that
Do you
They
have
sold
it,
their
António?
data.
They sold
On
that
the nail.
data.
They sold the data
Oh.
to Facebook. That is the best app in the world. Every woman I meet
That's
has it.
probably for something they'll sell and take that data and figure out if they should be selling you baby things at Target. That's
Right.
like how deep they're stealing your data and using it to sell you
So,
shit.
but what's your point with that, with the Flow?
They didn't tell you that was ever being sold.
Shady.
That's
No.
your
Well-
like
That's
why
very
would
intimate data.
They've said this before. If you're using a product and you're getting it for free and you're not
You're the
paying
product.
for
You're
it,
the product.
you are the product.
Exactly.
You,
Same
that when
as-
you sign
bro.
on to Facebook and they say disclaimer and
Bro,
it's 1,000 pages long and
it's-
you just go, fuck,
it's the same
accept,
thing
your
as
data
the
just got
cigarettes.
taken.
something happened yesterday. Some article came out that there was some app that was tracking and figuring out if people were actually minding the lockdown schedules, like the curfews and stuff. They're trying to measure all of that. And of course, this is what we were screaming about the entire time, about the invasions of these things and it getting turned on your iPhone and you had to go turn it off. These like I hate all of that. That's so invasive and terrible.
It's why decentralization matters, because ultimately people and humans are corruptible. And I think that what we've seen over the last decade and more with Facebook shows that we should not trust Facebook, and we shouldn't trust central institutions like the Federal Reserve, money printing and so on. And so decentralization is the only way to move us to a
Correct.
fairer, more
Yep.
inclusive, if you're interested in inclusivity, and a more opportunistic world, in my opinion.
So everyone here is on Team Keanu or Team Mark Zuckerberg?
Oh, well,
Keanu. He's
Keanu.
sexy as well. He's
Good
sexy in his old age, isn't
Good
he?
for you, Keanu. Old age. Holy shit.
He's
How old-
sexy.
Listen, we're now wrapping this thing up. We're time for our final 2 cents here. So here's where I want to take this thing. There's an article I saw here about billionaire investor Bill Miller, right? I'm not sure if you know who he is. It doesn't even matter if you know who he is. But what he did is what I want to get your guys' thoughts on, and then you can weigh in on this. Bill Miller, billionaire investor Bill Miller, said he put 50% of his net worth into Bitcoin. Okay? This was on January 11th, so I'm not sure where his net worth is now. Do you have that article? Anyway, Bill Miller put 50% of his net worth. So basically, he's put 50% of his net worth into Bitcoin's related investments in major industry firms like Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy. He basically says, hey, look, I've got Bitcoin as an insurance policy against financial catastrophe, as well as that it's a better investment tool than gold. So basically, he recommended that individual investors put at least 1% of their assets into Bitcoin, okay? Or crypto, for those that are not Bitcoin maximalists. I've been very public that I put about 5% of my net worth into crypto. I might even go more now that it's on sale, okay? I'm not putting 100%, I'm not putting 50%, but I'm not going to put an ostrich in the sand and be like, I don't get it, I'm putting 0 or even 1%. That's my number. And I actually took that number from when like the big boys in 2020 or 2021 were putting 3 to 8% of their cash holdings into crypto. That signaled, okay, that's the number that I kind of want to be in. So my question to you, the experts, is what percentage of your net worth, of your holdings, do you have in crypto, and what do you recommend for the people out there? Layah.
So I actually take my salary entirely in Bitcoin. So my clients all pay me in Bitcoin. I only really sell to pay like taxes and bills and rent and things like that. So I basically take everything. My entire net worth and capital, whatever, is like 90% in Bitcoin. The rest is fiat. I'd say I hold some altcoins, but nothing to like help with any sort of life-changing money.
90%.
I personally am. Yeah, 100%.
So Bill Miller's a rookie compared to you.
Basically, yeah. I mean, so I'm not a financial advisor. I wouldn't tell you what to do, but ultimately, right now I understand the market is bleeding. But if you zoom out over the last 2 years, Bitcoin is up 700%. It's the best performing asset out of all traditional asset classes. It's outperformed gold, gold and many other traditional asset classes. So I think it's the best savings technology that there is. You just have to do a little bit of research just to understand why it's so good. And I don't think we've even gone into the detail of why it's good and why it's better than gold. But that's another conversation for another time. But do what you're comfortable with. And here's actually the key point: when you invest, make sure that you can afford patience. So if you want to go all in at 50K or whatever it is, understand that it could come down 50% and it could stay down for the next 3 years. And I don't want you to sell at a loss. You want to hold and wait till it goes all the way up to 100, 500K, right? So ultimately, you have to be able to afford patience. That's the key to winning with Bitcoin.
Long-term investing, decade trading over day trading, no matter what you're doing. What percentage of your net worth do you have in Bitcoin?
Well,
and what do you recommend for the people?
You're presupposing that I have measured such things, and I like a little bit of softness with those boundaries. But I am learning the joys and the benefits of saving through Bitcoin. It's taught me a lot of discipline because as somebody who did a gig economy type of thing, that I didn't really keep a big rolling savings. I didn't do that a whole lot. So, but Bitcoin is teaching me that. So if other people out there that haven't been big into a history of savings, now's a great time. And you never want to sell this stuff. But I'm not a financial advisor, so I'll leave it at that.
Thank you, Matt Damon, for the disclaimer. Antonio, if you would,
20%
before you
cash.
answer this question, what's on your left right there? Oh, why don't you grab your guitar?
Oh, yeah.
Sing us a little song
I will.
and give us a little recommendation of what people should understand. Watch that wire right there. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I just broke
But
mine.
guys, this is a special treat. Did that just break? Oh shit.
Hello, I'm not your financial advisor. I will tell you today that I have 20% in cash, 60% in stable coins, and 20% in crypto. So if you want to risk a little bit, you save for the 20% in crypto. If you want to play safe, you go on the 20% cash. And if you want to look like you are in the crypto space, you invest the 60% on the stable coins. Works?
Clap it up for Antonio.
It went deeper into
I
my
don't know.
unconscious because
Let
it
me
was
tell you
tied
something.
to a song.
I am 100% into chicks, not dudes.
Just
You're
listen
making me
now.
reconsider.
Let you feel down.
In the metaverse, he's a girl. Y'all should meet up in there.
In the metaverse. Guys, this was freaking awesome. I hope that everyone...
No, keep going. I'm just,
It's a little loud. Let's roll. I hope that everyone took something away. Like, my goal here today is for you to get just 1% smarter when it came to this. I think everyone here gave a different, unique perspective. I mean, we might come up with a soundtrack after this. But respect to Layah, respect to Jessica, respect to Don Juan DeMarco over here for doing his thing. Respect to Natalia, her first time on the show. I don't know if there's a camera on her, but she's been great on the articles, the ones and twos. Ultimately, my takeaway is you can't be at 100% Bitcoin, crypto, and you can't be at 0%. Find your number, find what you're comfortable with, but make sure that if you're going to save that money, you don't just continue to save that money. You save to invest, and you invest, of course, in the crypto when you can. Take us out, Antonio. We'll see you guys next time.
It's out.
And we're out.
I'm doing the sound too.